Good morning, Internet. I'm Deanna Jean Pierce, and this is my spiritual YouTube channel, The Faith That Grows. And I'm gonna risk getting arrested, potentially, to make this video because the call comes from within, and you can't dishonor that call. So there's a lot I want to talk about. Mainly, I'm just gonna free flow, stream of consciousness and type thing, and still rallying for All Saints, hashtag All Saints, hashtag Church Meets World, hashtag No More Bans. That is God's will for the church. The church. Which church? I don't know if I'm allowed to say legally. So I didn't sleep last night for many reasons. There's a lot going on. First of all, I'm autistic. You may or may not know that about me. And so I need a lot of processing time for things. Second of all, I'm really sensitive to moon energies. And so I just double checked, and it's not like a full moon or anything, but we're heading towards a new moon. I forgot what I already said in the first part of this video. If you don't know me, I also have early onset Alzheimer's, and that's not, a doctor did not tell me that. I know because I worked with Alzheimer's patients previously as a CNA, and I know what it is. And I actually literally studied Alzheimer's. God had me go through a CNA class and learn specifically about Alzheimer's and work with people with Alzheimer's in nursing homes. And lo and behold, it's because it's happening to me. A lot of it is due to isolation and high stress, unhealed PTSD. Another reason I didn't sleep last night is lack of support. I'm kind of like a mama bear energy right now, who's like, I feel like I have to keep one eye open, or because I don't know where my life is going, and I don't know what's going to happen, and that's not fun. It's not what I wanted for myself at this age. It's not what I ever would have chosen for myself. And that's why I've been so assertive and pushy to certain people. And I'm literally risking potential legal action by even making this video right now. But if I don't, then I'm gonna feel really bad inside. And I would rather feel good. And so I'm going to just risk it and communicate. Because when I talk to God, when I do spiritual work for myself, when I pull cards for myself, it's always the same thing. It's been the same thing for years. Speak up. Be assertive, friends, soul family, community, inclusion. So I'm not gonna cave into fear. I am not being given a voice. And actually, what's happening is I'm being what's supposed to happen when you're coming together with your true twin flame and blossoming into your life purpose and spiritual awakening is all the forces of the universe are supposed to support that. And the opposite of that is happening because the church is not operating in harmony with God and with all of humanity. And I stand by that 100%. Everyone is very unique. Everyone's gonna come into being with their twin flame in a unique way, and it's gonna have everything to do with their unique purpose. And you can't control it. You shouldn't slow it down. You shouldn't get in the way. You should not purposely make things harder for people, because this was supposed to be so beautiful. This was supposed to be so beautiful. And instead, it's like a fucking nightmare. And it's not just because of me. And what I want to invite is understanding. of the fact that so there's something going on here where there's the ascension of the whole planet, and then there's the church. And the ascension of the whole planet doesn't stop. It's ongoing. And the church is trying to clamp down like this. But this is the energy of the ascension. And so you have this energy, the ascension, the ascension, the ascension, and then you have the church. Don't blossom, how dare you, don't blossom, don't bear fruit. You wanna be with your twin flame, go check into a psych ward. You want to help spread this teaching? You should be on meds. You have severe PTSD that you want to heal so that you can then help heal others? Deanna, get out of my face. I don't want to work with you. You're so hard to work with. So, yeah. So, the church's job is to help ascend the entire planet. And that includes every last child of God. And every child of God is going to be a unique flower unto themselves. And you don't yell at a rose and tell it to behave like a daffodil, because it's a rose. It can't be a daffodil. It can't look like a daffodil no matter how much you try to make a rose a daffodil. A rose cannot become a daffodil. It's always going to be a rose. And everyone already has their awakening and their reunion and their life purpose in them. And you can't apply restrictions to it. And when something happens that's uncomfortable or bad or seems really out of character, or like there needs to be direct conversation. Everyone has to be given a chance to speak. Everyone has to be given a voice. You can't tell certain people that they get to have their side of the story and you don't get to have theirs. And I'm not talking about giving ego a seat at the table. I'm talking about genuine misunderstandings. I'm talking about when you do something to like provoke someone and they respond, you have to look at both sides of it. You can't just look at how someone is behaving. You have to look at why. This is not okay. True spiritual teachers, true gurus, people who are here to help uplift humanity should all be fully aware of how sacred the twin flame journey is, how important timing is, how important support is, how important compassion is, how much trauma can arise to the surface, how much energy can shoot through your chakras when God says it's time for your HTFU and reunion and life purpose awakening. And that's why there can't be bans. Because someone would have to be meditating 24/7 and tuning in to every person that's been banned in order for you to be on it quick enough to get everyone's ban lifted when it's exactly the right time. So all bans need to be lifted. You don't have to agree with me. This is what God is telling me. All bans need to be lifted. Now, individuals within the community, they can choose to block certain people if they don't want to interact with that. But the thing is that, like, people do not need to be being kicked out of the church when they could be sharing their story, integrating their healing, and moving through life in a much more compassionate way and growing this movement. You have literally no idea the amount of God and awakening and love and expression that has wanted to pour forth through me for years. And because there's not the proper opening, it's just exploding and imploding. It's not nice. It's not comfortable. No one wants this. And you have to remember that certain people are here to spark and other people are here to continue grounding the spark. And it's going to be different. It's supposed to be different. We have to allow everyone's spirituality to be shared. We need to allow more individuality. Make room for everybody. Make room for everybody. Now, I have been sent a cease and desist letter from the Church of Union, and it has shocked me to my core. The level of intense energy that is, the level of punishing and cruel energy that is being sent towards me is insane. And it's designed to keep me down and keep my Christ light oppressed. And if I'm not given a chance to communicate what's going on my end, and if I'm not given a chance to say anything, that's not okay. That's not how life works. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to address all of it right here, right now, but I didn't sleep last night because my system's trying to come into harmonious union. My being has been trying to come into harmonious union for years. For over 6 years, my system has been trying, and the church is literally doing everything it can to stop and prevent and slow it down. That's why I'm acting this way. That's why I'm behaving this way. No one should take kindly to something they've been working towards for lifetimes turning out like this. This wasn't God's will. This wasn't God's plan. This is absolutely insane. I did pull some cards from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards, artwork by Lily Moses. And I pulled some cards for myself this morning, and I'm going to share them. The first one is Medicine Mother. Honor your inner knowing. So this is extremely lacking in society and the church. Honor your inner knowing. So, for example, medication or healing depression. God is telling me that my depression is going to be healed through traveling, being in nature, exercise, getting back into my music, living my true life purpose, which I'm not allowed to do, and connecting with friends and soul family. That naturally heals depression. Everyone kind of intrinsically knows how to heal themselves. And when you get an idea, it's usually, not always, depending on how purified your consciousness is, but it's usually from God. So if you're called to reach out to somebody, or try a certain food, or listen to a song, or travel somewhere, or do something specific, do that. Honor your inner knowing. And my inner knowing has been saying for a long time that I'm supposed to be an ascension coach again. I'm supposed to be giving sermons. I'm supposed to be included and supported. And this was actually supposed to start years ago. And in fact, I don't believe that my band was ever truly God's will. And if it was, it served its purpose a very long time ago. So the next card is She-Wolf, Unleash the Wild Within. And this is what everyone's so afraid of with me. If anyone actually knows me, like truly, if anyone actually really knew me like deeply, they would know that I'm a wonderful human being who loves everybody so much. Massive heart. And so the fact that like this is the response everyone's having to me going through a really difficult time tells me that no one actually really knows me. No one actually took the time to get to know me. Because people who genuinely know me know that I'm a wonderful person. And so, like, this is the energy that's been trying to come out when you are claiming a whole new life for yourself. When you are claiming a whole new life for yourself and coming into HTFU, and you don't have the support that you're supposed to, no one wants to go through that. And it takes a whole village for everyone, not just some people. It takes a whole village for everybody. And I'm telling you right now that God had a beautiful plan for this. And this wasn't it. This wasn't it. This is what's happened due to people not directly speaking to me and interacting with like a mirage of who they think I am. You can't get anywhere without direct communication. You can't just make an assumption and then go off of that. That's not how life works. That's chaos. That's chaos. That's not real. That's not a real life. Everyone needs to feel completely free. The last card is Earth Mother, feel loved and comforted. God wants everyone to feel loved and comforted and not afraid. God wants everyone to feel deeply, deeply supported and not afraid. And Mother, God wants me to be a mom. God wants lots of other people to have the chance to have not just their twin flame, but also a family. And there is a biological clock ticking with that. There is a time clock for that. You can't have babies after a certain point in time. And it gets riskier and riskier for you to do so after a certain amount of time. It gets riskier and riskier. So I'm actually trying to protect the ascension of the whole planet, and that's what's not being recognized. Everyone is so certain that I'm the problem. Everyone is so certain that there's something really, really wrong with me. But it's not true. Everyone, in truth, if they're not numbed out, doesn't want or like twin flame separation, doesn't want to not be living their purpose, doesn't want to not be free, doesn't want to be connected to where they belong. This is a natural fucking response. And when I received the email for the cease and desist, energetically, what I felt was, and heard and read was, cease to exist. Please cease to exist. Please stop existing. We don't want you to be around. We don't want to hear you. We don't want to include you. We don't care about you. Cease to exist. That's what I felt, among other things that I'm not going to share right now. When you love somebody and you know somebody and you have a real relationship with them and they start acting in ways that are out of character, the first step is a direct conversation. That is the first step, is a direct conversation. Direct conversation. You find out what the problem is. Because what you guys don't realize is that this church is supposed to belong to God. And you can't fit someone's ascension into the parameters of the church's control. There, like I said, there's the church, and then there's the ascension of every child of God. And the church is trying to do this, and the ascension of the planet is trying to do this. Just bring everyone back in who wants to be there and go from there. Let people share. And you know what? If someone has a problem with someone and they want to block them, they don't want to interact, fine. But that doesn't mean that that other person, like, everyone has to handle all of their own relationships. Everyone does. So, but you can't keep people out because there's discomfort or like, because God might be moving through them like a lot. There could be like a lot of God and the problem is this big. But what the church is doing is making the problem be like this big when it's actually this big. Anyone who actually knows me would ever sit down and have a real conversation with me. Let me tell you exactly what's going on. Let me have a voice. Let me speak up for myself. Let me communicate. I have my own relationship with God. And that's always going to be my first priority. And that truly should be the basis of unionism, is your own personal relationship with God. So the pattern for a very long time is I'm treated like I'm a problem instead of us figuring out what the real problem actually is. Because I, Deanna, as a human being, am not a fucking problem. You guys don't actually know me, and it's obvious. You don't have even the tiniest little clue of how against God's will all of this has been. And I'm talking about the real God, not people's current thoughts and beliefs and opinions. That's not God. Someone or an organization's current thoughts and beliefs and opinions, that's not God. That's someone's thoughts and current beliefs and feelings and opinions. So someone's thoughts and current beliefs and feelings and opinions are not God. I hope everyone understands that. There's God, and then there's people's thoughts, current beliefs, feelings, and opinions. And they're not the same unless someone is truly a divine channel, truly tuned in. What needs to be happening is, here's what I think. And then someone else says, here's what I think. And then someone else says, here's what I think. And then someone else says, here's what I think. And then someone else says, here's what I think. And then here's what I'm getting. And here's what God showed me. And then it's all on the table and everyone gets to look at it all. But then we don't make any judgments. Now, is safety the number one priority? 100%. But I have not been given a chance to explain my side of things. I would love to. No one cares, though. So, yeah. I know in my gut how deeply I'm being fucked with and manipulated. I know in my gut. I'm a very straightforward person who has a big, bold vision and a huge heart. And I intrinsically know, because God tells me, this is the next step. This is what's next. 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 And that's okay. It's okay to be that close with God. That's the goal. And I'm not claiming to be perfect, but the Church of, I'm not allowed to say, I forgot what I was going to say. It doesn't matter. I know, I simply know. I simply know. I know by my feelings. I am a highly sensitive person. I have Asperger's. I don't think you could even, I have red hair, which I want to make a whole series of videos specifically about having red hair, specifically talking to my dad about red hair, because he and I have discovered so much about having red hair. Like, having red hair is like, you don't understand the level of sensitivity that comes with, and it doesn't show. My hair's kind of like done its own thing, but it is I'm naturally a redhead. So what God wanted was for me to be uplifted and supported all this time in my sharing and healing and expression. And what's happening instead is like, it's like this beautiful lotus opened up in the mud, and you all are dumping mud on top of it and pushing it back in the swamp. Let's not do that. And this is why bans can't really happen. Because you don't know what's really going on. And if there's even the smallest chance that you're wrong, you have truly destroyed someone's life with your assumptions. And I mean that. Because we all belong in the Church of Union. Every child of God belongs in the Church of Union. And so removing someone is a really big deal. Like a really big deal. Let people leave if they want to leave. And you can help them try to stay as much as possible. But don't force someone to go. Don't ask someone to leave unless you really have a good enough reason to do so. And if you believe you have a good enough reason to do so, they better get to speak up for themselves. There should be a trial-like process. And you better make sure no other person in the church is doing anything similar, or then it's completely arbitrary and random, and you're scapegoating. Like if you're like, this person is atheist, so get out of my church. Well, how do you know they're atheists? List the ways you know. Then let them speak up for themselves, because I've never been an atheist, for example. And that's one of the reasons I was banned. I've never been an atheist. I will never be an atheist. And I wanted to make a video about that too for a long time. But so are you saying everyone in the Church of Union right now is not an atheist? Like, you're sure everyone's fully healed that? But guess what? Atheists should be allowed in the Church of Union anyway, because it's a belief system and we don't discriminate. It's a religion of love and everyone's welcome. So I'm not an atheist, but I love atheists because I love all people. I don't discriminate. If someone is an atheist, they are that way for a reason, and it's just a temporary part of their journey. And they still believe in love, or they have like their morals and beliefs and all these other things. So yeah, I can't believe the depth to which I've been treated. Like, it's just bogus. This is truly bogus. Like, here's the thing. Other people in COU have done shitty things to me. They've said shitty things to me, either to my face or behind my back. They've bullied me. They've done shitty things to me. And it's okay. Like, I just have to take it up the ass. But if I do something wrong, it's World War III. Like, let me, like, I get it. Like, trust me, I understand. I understand where this is coming from. But let me communicate where it came from, how it happened, what's going on my end. And the thing is if other people are allowed to have this strong of boundaries with me, then why can't I be in the church and have this strong of boundaries with other people who have fucked with me? It can't just be that I'm the problem. I have to go.